When I was blessed with children, there were many women in my community that supported my raising of my children, many of those in that room today who had significant influence in support and grounding my children. And I thank you all. I stand here today. Ooh. Oh. An incredibly proud mother of a young engineer forging a path in what is a largely male-dominated industry. Oh. As a child, Elizabeth had a comfortable affinity with numbers, building constructions and spatial awareness, and the crazy ability to finish a jigsaw puzzle based on shapes rather than colours messed with my head. It was no surprise to me that she pursued a path in engineering. There were no dolls in Elizabeth's room. The significance of this path, though, really didn't hit me until the day that Elizabeth graduated. There were 200 graduates of civil mechanical engineering at Wollongong University that day. 5 were women. And one of those amazing women was my daughter. Elizabeth still lives in the Illawarra and is a role model to all high school age students and commits 1 week every year to supporting those students up at the university in the areas of the STEM career path. Please welcome my beautiful daughter, Elizabeth.
Thanks for that introduction, Mum. It's one way to start off. Okay. As my mum said, I'm a civil engineer working locally. I've been graduated now for about 5 years out of the University of Wollongong. So I've grown up locally, attended school locally, and was lucky enough to get into the local university to do what I wanted to do in my career. And though it may have taken me a little longer to graduate due to medical reasons, I did get there in the end. But I have to say, you know, a lot of me pursuing that career, I think, started when I was younger. The support I had from my mum and all the other lovely, lovely ladies that she had brought into my life that were strong and were pursuing what they wanted to do in their careers. Whether it was be a stay-at-home mother or, you know, traveling the world to do what they wanted to do. I guess every woman that she brought into my life was very important, and it really shaped the person that I grew up to be, and the passion that I have for pursuing my career in engineering, and the passion that I have then taken into sharing that love of engineering and STEM with the next generation. I think it's very important that we take that and we make it normalized, I guess, for the next generation. As Mum said, I was one of very few female engineers in my graduating class, but I know that every year when I go back to the university as part of my volunteering my time, there are more and more enrolments for women in engineering at UOW. The percentage has gone up quite considerably in the last 5 years, which to me has been really great to hear. I think that it's partially about that, but it's partially about retaining girls in the field once they graduate as well, which I think a lot more companies out there now are a lot more supporting. As an engineer, I guess, I've spent a bit of time on work sites as well as in the office. And I think that the work sites is where I've seen a lot of change. A lot of tradespeople, I say people because there are a lot more females out there now, which is really nice to see on site, are a lot more accepting of women coming in to the site, which I think has been very beneficial. Don't get me wrong, I've still been on the occasional work site where if I take my young undergrad or something with me, they'll look to him first and then to me. But they soon realise when he can't answer any questions that they're looking at the wrong person. But I think it doesn't help that he's a good 2 heads taller than I am. I think it's definitely changing, and a lot of that comes down to events like this and days where we learn to focus on not just celebrating all women, but raising awareness of the bias that still exists between men and women, starting from when they're young to when they're older. And I guess too, you see that nowadays with toys. It's not all promoted just for, the dolls are for girls, and Lego or anything building is, for like little boys. There's a lot more overlap now, which is really nice to see. So a little bit more on what I do with the university in my time. So they run what's now called a Women in STEM camp in every summer school holidays, the January usually, which is a 3-4 day camp where we take a bunch of year 10 and 11 girls who are interested in the STEM fields. They stay on campus with us, and we take them to a couple of site visits, and we do a lot of activities around the university to do with the STEM fields, and just showing them what is available in those professions if they to pursue their interest in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And having actually I've been participating in that as a group leader for, I think if it had gone ahead this year, thanks COVID, it would have been my 7th year as a group leader, or 8th, I've lost count. But so much so that I've actually now seen girls that I was a group leader for in my first couple of years graduate from engineering degrees, which has been, really awesome to see them get all the way through that, thanks to what they learnt at the camp. So I think that's it's been a really positive influence on my life, and I think that's my main kind of passion at the moment, is just trying to help get more of those girls and support them through those degrees and into the workforce. I'm lucky enough at the moment to be working at a company that is very supportive of women in any of the roles within our company. We do have a lot of officers around, but even through times like this, we have contact between women of all different backgrounds and experiences, being able to contact each other, and they keep us, they give us that support to be able to contact each other between offices and states, which is very nice. And we had a really lovely celebration on Monday actually, which was really nice. I think that is, I guess what I've been trying to talk about is my passion of trying to challenge some change in the world around me. We're trying to promote a lot more women into engineering. And I think a lot of that comes from leading by example. I don't know many senior female engineers, and I've only met a select few within my time. There are only a few in my company, and I've met a few around some other companies through other engineering work that I do. And I think that going forward, that is a lot to do with what we need to try and change, is we need to have more women leadership in those roles that we want more women to go through. We need to support women into them because that seems to be the problem a lot of the time. So I think that would finish me there. I'm not good at speaking.